Welcome to the FastRead podcast. Today is Thursday, April 9th, 2026. Here are your top ALPA and industry headlines. While negotiating under the supervision of the National Mediation Board, FedEx pilots reached a tentative agreement with FedEx management on an amended collective bargaining agreement. The TA will next be presented to the FedEx Master Executive Council, and if approved for distribution, it will then be subject to a ratification vote by FedEx pilots. Quote, "This tentative agreement was reached after lengthy and intensive mediation under the supervision of the National Mediation Board," said Captain Jose Nieves, FedEx ALPA MEC chair. The next step is completing the MEC review and providing pilots with the information needed to evaluate the agreement. Last week, 21 Air and Houston Astros owner Jim Crane stated publicly that Cargojet is selling its stake in 21 Air because it doesn't want its pilot union to exploit the relationship in negotiations over a new labor contract. If true, this undermines the integrity of the negotiations and the growth shown by both management and ALPA. Quote, "We have approached negotiations in good faith and collaborated with our company's management to achieve contract terms that include the industry protections common to our fellow pilots in Canada, all while securing a fair contract that reflects our value to this airline," said Captain Adam Brochu, Cargojet ALPA Master Executive Council Chair. The full release is linked in the show notes. Late last month, the U.S. Consulate General for Hong Kong and Macau issued a security alert regarding the implementation of a rules change in Hong Kong related to the national security law. Per the consulate, it is now a criminal offense to refuse to give Hong Kong police the passwords to personal electronic devices such as cell phones and laptops. This legal change applies to everyone, including U.S. and Canadian citizens passing through or arriving at Hong Kong International Airport. Through the rule changes, the Hong Kong government also has more authority to seize and retain any personal devices as evidence. We've linked the security alert in the show notes. Recent runway incursions have occurred around the North Complex at Los Angeles International Airport, involving aircraft landing on runway 24R and crossing runway 24L without an air traffic control clearance. Simultaneous parallel departure and approach operations at LAX highlight the need for pilots to perform thorough arrival briefings. Find ALPA's recommendations in this week's FastRead newsletter, linked in the show notes. PSA Flight 5342 exposed dangerous loopholes in the U.S. aviation safety system. The solution is simple: mandate ADS-B in technology. Contact your member of Congress today and ask them to support an ADS-B in mandate in the final aviation safety bill. For too long, the FAA's lengthy medical certification and review process has contributed to a culture of silence surrounding mental health issues. Pilots should not be penalized or have their careers delayed or derailed for seeking treatment when needed. Contact your senator to urge them to co-sponsor the Mental Health in Aviation Act. This bipartisan legislation seeks to address this issue and improve the aeromedical review process. To sign the letter and learn more about all of ALPA's ongoing advocacy campaigns, check the show notes. Every pilot flying today benefited from someone who volunteered their time. This National Volunteer Month, ALPA Vice President, Administration Secretary, Captain Sean Creed, has a message for our volunteers and an invitation for every member ready to raise their hand.
ALPA runs on one thing above everything else: pilot volunteers. And this April, during National Volunteer Month, we're taking a moment to celebrate that. To everyone already doing that work, leading committees, mentoring colleagues, guiding where this association goes next. Your dedication is the reason ALPA succeeds. Thank you.
The Jazz Master Executive Council invites all crew members to stand in solidarity with the family of Captain Antoine Forrest as they receive condolences on Friday, April 17th, in Couteau-du-Lac, Quebec. Full details are in the show notes. That's all for this edition of the FastRead podcast. Until next week, stay safe and have a nice flight.
This podcast is brought to you by the Airline Pilots Association. ALPA supports its pilots through a variety of resources, including the Guide to the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act. The USERRA Guide focuses on common questions that arise under the Act in the context of a career in aviation while still in the military. To access the guide, visit alpa.org/resources or contact your local rep.